G'day. So. Finally.
After 9 months on the road.
We're doing a van tour. Ta-da! Man, we've just been dragging our feet on this particular video for a couple of reasons. One is, and probably the main one, is we wanted to kind of know what we were doing first. We'd never owned a caravan before this. So, and we'd had a camper trailer and whatnot, but we definitely did not know anything about caravans when we got it. So we've learnt the hard way for the last 9 months, living in it full time. And everyone, that being, I don't know, probably 20 people, I would reckon at least, have said, when are you doing a video? When are you doing a van tour? When are you doing a van tour? When are you doing a car build? When are you doing this? And it's like, yeah, we'll do it in a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Couple of weeks.
Yeah. But for me, it's like cleaning the van was like a mission, and just putting everything away.
Today's been hectic.
So today we've really gone to town on it. It never looks this good, honestly.
It doesn't always look this good.
There's always stuff out and kids and husbands making a mess.
Yeah. So long story short, we're buggered. And we're like, we didn't want to do the whole walk and talk thing. We got the van clean. We're like, look, let's just shoot it. It looks nice. We'll just get all the shots and we'll sit down by the fire, have a drink, and then we'll have a chat. So here we go. I've got a list of notes here to kind of keep us on track so we don't have to kind of, go back and do heaps of different things. But
if you have any more questions on things that you see in there, then just flick us a message and we'll get back to you with it.
Cool. So we decided on a Marvel Golden Child as our van. We went to a bunch of shows. We looked at heaps of different vans, didn't we? And at the start it was just super confusing. Really confusing. And then after a while it was like kind of you could see the matrix and all of the floor plans started to make sense. You see the code, you're like,
you like certain things, but who was that again? And it just all rolled into one.
There was a lot going on. So yeah, initially we wanted a Sunseeker Wild Child. After looking at all these different vans, we were like, man, that's it. We saw Chris's Wild Child kind of
Monster, I think.
Yeah, the Monster or something had 35s or 37s on it, and it just looked sick. And we were like, wow, this is such a standout. Anyway, we fell in love with the Wild Child and we're like, that's for us, we're gonna get it. And then as we kind of got to the pointy end of negotiations with the guys, we couldn't afford it. We could not afford the extra money for the Sunseeker. And we ended up going with the Marvel, which is basically sames, but with a couple of different specs, and the main difference being it doesn't have an aluminium frame. It's got a traditional Meranti timber frame.
And we're not disappointed at all. It's not like it was like, do a Marvel. It was.
Yeah, it wasn't that sort of situation.
Awesome.
I definitely wanted the Wild Child. I just liked the idea that it was made out of metal. Anyway, but it's been good so far. It's been really, really good. And I don't think I've noticed, I certainly have not noticed that it's any different, compared to the other van. But yeah, it took us a while to decide, and we ended up going with 2 bunks. And the main things that we wanted really was...
the major things was the ensuite separate to the shower, bunk beds. We wanted the kitchen to be on the annex side. We wanted the bed, what do you call it?
The island bed. Not an east-west bed that someone has to climb over the other person to get into the main van.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And we wanted the double axle...
Tandem axle,
toolbox.
And we wanted a full ATM upgrade and stuff, so we upgraded the ATM. Well, I don't know what it was before, but we said, look, we need that 3500 because we had the GCM upgrade done on our Ranger, and we knew that we were gonna, we were gonna want to take stuff, we were gonna want extra water and all the rest of it. So we had to get that done, and that meant upgrading to Alco Enduro suspension underneath and a few other bits and pieces. There's a DO35 coupling on the front, but that extended drawbar that we got with the van allowed us to have, those toolboxes. And then we actually switched to sort of help with our weights. We switched our 9 kilo gas bottles to 4.5 kilo gas bottles or something like that.
Which suits us because we've got solar coming out of our wazoo.
Yes, so that was the other thing we wanted.
Inverters and stuff. So
we needed power, a lot of power, basically for camera, my chargers, running a full-size iMac if I needed to for work and stuff like that in the van. Not just like the normal MacBook Pros, which use about 90 watts. I think when that thing's rendering or when I'm editing, it's sucking down close to 400 watts. So it's a beast of a machine. So pretty much if you're editing on that machine for, 6 to 8 hours, there's a 200 amp hour lithium gone. Like completely cactus, you've emptied it. So we had a huge amount of draw with everything that we had. And then when we started talking with Bruce at Safari, we ended up going full lithium. So there's an 800 amp hour battery setup in there with a Victron 3000 watt inverter. It's a 48 volt system that Safari designed. So it's not your standard 12 volt system. They use 48 volt batteries, which there's a huge, like I'm not going to go into a great deal of detail because we'll do something specific on the power system, but it's not actually 12 volt. And it's awesome what they do with that stuff. We've got power points all the way through the van that are all wired to the inverter. So it's like you're at home pretty much.
Yeah.
Like, unless Katie forgets that the air conditioner is on and that she wants to make a coffee and the hot water service is on and then it's like, everything's turned off.
What's happened?
Yeah. Brucey said, you got a few alarms in there. We're like, oh, okay, it's all good, we worked it out.
So and having all that power as well meant that we didn't have to have an oven, which takes up so much space under the bench for pot drawers and things like that. We opted to go for the air fryer, and
we bounced the whole gas cooktop in favour of induction.
And just got like a 2-plate induction, which
looks pretty classy.
Big.
Kangaroo. They're bouncing across the hill over there. Sorry, you can't see that, but it's pretty sick here.
We're in such a nice spot. It's beautiful.
Parachilda Gorge, man. This is so cool. Anyway, so we went the induction, and that has been pretty good. Yeah. So it sort of manages the power, so it doesn't trip your 3000 watt inverter. It's clever in that sense, but also it's like instant, pretty much direct heat, works with cast iron, works with all your normal stuff. And one thing that we found, and I think probably everyone deals with this in their van because everyone's using the same kind of range hoods, is the range hoods don't really grab and suck all of the steam out. Nah, they kind of they do an okay job, but they're not they definitely don't grab it all. And definitely, this magpie's fighting down the hill. It's like a tumble. Look at them, they're bashing on. Oh, there's 3 of them now.
Leave them alone.
They're all flying. This is like battle royale. Whoa, they're so upset. Whoa.
Leave him alone.
Whoa.
Ooh.
Mate, he's giving chase. That's a good little battle scene, that. I'm a fan. Anyway, so basically one of the things that was suggested to us to get by Bruce was a fantastic hatch, which is basically like just the fan above the bed. You switch that out, and there's a couple of awesome things about switching out that hatch. When you get rid of the bigger hatch, then we could fit 2 solar panels on either side of the hatch. And we did redesign our roof to get more solar on. And that was one of the key things. If we had that bigger hatch, you wouldn't fit those panels there. So the fantastic hatch is small enough to fit those Victron panels there on either side. And also, it's epic because you can suck air in or out, right? So basically, it's an automatic hatch, opens up, and then it has a fan that either pulls air out or pushes it in. And if it starts to rain while you're asleep, it's got a little rain sensing thing on there, and it shuts the fan while you're sleeping.
Yeah. So when you rock up,
awesome.
The caravan's been closed, it's summer, you get there and it's just steaming hot in there. You can just put that on and just draw all the hot air out.
Just sucks it out. Perfect. Super fast.
And then when you're steaming the veggies or whatever on the cooktop, you can draw the air in and it blows it out the window.
Yeah, so you basically, it's almost compressing the air in the van, close all the other windows and stuff, and it basically just blows every single bit of steam straight out the window. It is so good. I love that. So that was definitely something that I'd recommend if you were going to if you wanted to get the steam out, and also if you wanted extra solar, because you've got to make concessions about what's on the roof if you want extra solar. No gas in the van, which is awesome.
And so we were able to get then the fridge, what is it?
We went with a compressor fridge, with a big 240 litre compressor fridge.
It's
220? Nah, I think it's 220.
280.
You wait. We'll put it. It's 224. Put it down here.
It's huge anyway.
It's big. So we went with the bigger compressor fridge, and that draws quite a bit of power, but obviously with all the batteries and whatnot, you're pretty much set. We run a little Breville coffee machine in there. So, and like that doesn't use a lot of power. It's like it's pretty mellow. And on the roof, there's 1,050 watts of solar. So yeah, lots and lots of solar, lots and lots of replenishment power. We've got an L-shaped lounge that has like a little table that you sort of move in and out and stuff like that, which is pretty cool. And I like that sort of moving table for work and setting up the computer and stuff like that. It works very well for that. We haven't had to put it down into a bed or anything like that. We're not like the kids have got their beds. One of the things that we did afterwards, after living in the van for a little while, was that Sirocco fan that you wanted.
Yep. So sitting, like when you're doing the dishes, your hands are in hot water. I just was so hot. So we actually got a Sirocco fan just for me above the sink, which blows on me when I do the dishes. But it also gets, the lounge area and
it works on you if you're having dinner and stuff like that.
Yeah, you just chuck that on. I'd strongly suggest that.
We did that because we only did the 4 fans to start with. One on either side of the headboards next to our beds, and then one above the kids' heads. One each kids, like above their heads in their bunks. So yeah, we only had those fans, and then nothing in the main living and stuff like that.
Yep.
So
we definitely wanted a washing machine as well. So the 3 kilo washer does us pretty good. The only thing, like I don't know, it's probably just across the board, but it uses a lot of water. So when we're not plugged in, we can't run it because it just drains our tanks. So
well, you don't, like it's maybe somewhere between, it's over 50 litres. We know that. We don't know exactly how much, but we reckon
it reckons it's 40 kilos, but I reckon it's more than that.
40 kilos? 40 litres. About 40 kilos. Yeah, maybe it's the same thing. Could be.
Yeah, so 40 litres of water. But and I don't even know if it draws that much power, but yeah, so we haven't been able to use that when we're on the
yeah, we don't use it off grid. No, not if we want the water to last. And probably speaking of water, that's what we've done with the tanks is we've got 2 95 litres up the front, and they are plumbed to shower, washing machine, kitchen sink, toilet, bathroom sink, etc., etc. And then there's another 95 litre tank at the back that's a dedicated drinking water tank that comes to a little filtered tap on the sink there. That is the best thing.
Yeah, we definitely wanted that.
Yeah, and that's like we use it flat out.
Yeah, I use it like, when you're putting steamed veggies or whatever, I use that or cooking pasta or rice. I use that for those sort of cooking things, so you don't get that taste of just hose water.
Yeah.
You know that taste?
We kind of eliminated the hose water taste a little bit using one of those inline filters, the best filters and stuff, but at the start we had no idea what we were doing. The tank water, the water tasted like crap even though we had a food grade hose.
Your pasta and you could just taste it.
Taste PVC, you're like, delicious. So so we've got that in the back, and then there's a dedicated grey water tank, which I think is another 95 litre, or that's a 100 litre tank, I think, of grey water, which we definitely wanted because we wanted to go national parks and be self-contained.
And just like free camping on, like side of the road and whatnot.
I think they've seen you. What are you doing? No, you can't just hide back there, mate. What are you doing?
Like I see some people with buckets under their like grey water tap, and then they have to go and pour it out, and I'm like, oh, that's too hard. So we're really happy with our grey water. Yeah,
the grey water's definitely that was pretty cool. Yeah, seeing people empty it doesn't look fun. And if we really don't want to move in a spot, sometimes we'll just take chuck some in a bucket or whatever, or chuck some in a container and just ferry it over somewhere.
So if we've been there for too long and it's full, the grey water's full, it's 90 litres, then we just empty it that way so we can stay a little bit longer.
But so in the front of the van we've got our island bed there, and we've got our there's kind of cupboards either side that you can. You don't have to explain it this well because you can see it. So with our so we've got the island bed. What are you doing, man? You're making me laugh, you weirdo. Get out of here.
What's that, Ada? Are you hungry?
You look like a little imp. All right, so we've got the island bed up the front of the van. Now, the island bed up the front of the van, basically, you'd say that it makes it heaps easier to get inside and outside, but all it means is we don't have to climb over one another, because what we've actually done is we're using the sides of the bed as storage, because we've got, just bits and pieces, and I've got a lot of camera gear and that you can see.
Because camera gear and everything takes up a lot of space. Storage.
It does.
So we have to put the stuff that would be in the storage beside the bed.
Yeah, a little bit like that. So, and it's stuff that we picked up along the way. I got a djembe. up in Mission Beach.
See ya, hun.
Yes, Johan, thank you.
What else did you
And I'm
get?
carrying the
Yeah,
djembe around, and there's a
ukulele,
ukulele, and there's just like little
camera
bits and
bag,
pieces.
laptop
Yeah,
bag.
laptop, and a few other things that just sort of sit down there. But I don't mind using that as storage because it feels like to me it's space that I don't use. Like
Yeah.
I don't swing my legs out of bed and then sort of
like walk
squeeze
around.
down the side and around the little tables and stuff like that. I just don't do that. We both like just bum shuffle out of bed. So that didn't cause too much a hassle.
So I think because we don't walk around the sides, I think having some extra storage above our windows would be a good idea.
Yes.
We didn't get it, but we think that would be a really good idea and a bit of a window
Yes.
space.
Yeah, I've seen other vans
We've
with it,
done
and they've got cupboards up above that side bit. That would have been
So maybe see if that's
awesome.
an option for your van. And do you know what? We also wanted the nice big side windows next to our bed because, like you wake up.
It's awesome
and
to look
the
out,
windows
yeah.
down and you've just got such a big, beautiful view.
Big windows are
We
awesome.
loved that about this van. What was the front window?
Yeah, the front window above the bed, we were
had
like,
to have it. We
Yeah.
had to, we loved it. And
we gave him a hard time about that. We were like, yo, we've got to have this thing and blah, 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 blah. And it was on our list of must-haves on the van that we chose. We never use it.
we've used it once.
We never, ever use it.
Yeah.
But
Because,
we do take photos with it open sometimes because it looks pretty good on the gram.
We should have opened it today.
But most of the time it's just like something that we're putting the little blind up before we go to bed and opening it in the morning to let a bit of light in, but while we're still
And
like,
if you forget to close it, you wake up and there's like this crack of light just shining right in your eye. Yeah.
stop being a creeper back there, buddy. So anyway, that's the bedside of things. Oh, we did a little sort of modification on the lights above the bed and the lights in the hatches in the roof. We put some gels in there to change the color temperature of the light from that really cold blue light to a nice warm light, and that is so much better.
Basically, you could probably just buy cellophane, like that coloured cellophane, like orange cellophane, and just cut out little circles. And this is probably the easy way, unless you have
It's the easy
that
way. Or you could do it properly
stuff.
and get the color temperature just right and order a full CTB gel. CTO, full CTO gel, actually, from Videocraft or something like that, and just cut them out. Job done. So good. So
Did we talk
there's
about
that.
the underbed storage?
Underbed storage, that's where I've got my iMac. That's where I'm taking up a large sort of chunk of space in under there, but we also put the air fryer in there. We got a portable induction cooktop that we use sometimes.
Yeah, what else? The soda stream, the blender.
Stuff, appliances. It's like an appliance cupboard, basically. Yeah, pretty much. We haven't put much else in there. But it does the job. We did put a bit of extra foam under the end of our bed because it felt like those beds kind of drop off a little bit just because there's a pull-out thing.
To make it longer.
But it kind of doesn't, it's not exactly straight. So we just put a bit of foam in there. Perfect. Pool noodle would be even better. So, yeah.
We bought.
So, yeah. Bathroom. Shower's big.
Yep.
Little pump things on the wall. They're sick. I thought that was the stupidest idea at the start. I was like, what is this, Kate? And it's been so good. It's a couple of ideas like that I was really critical of.
I find though, if you knock them, they sort of fall out and then everything pours out. So that's the only negative I've got about those. They're easy to knock out if you you bend down and you stand up with your arms up, So it's happened a few times.
Kate sometimes does squats in the shower, I think. Obviously, just is constantly.
I clean a shower.
Well, I suppose so.
And kids, they.
Kids are jumping around in there. Yeah. So, but that's a good little space, and all the black fittings and stuff. I loved that. The black pack or whatever. That was cool. I liked that they that they could do that.
Sink
yeah.
And the tap. And the tapware in the bathroom.
Yeah, it's really nice actually. So that's all good. There's a little sneaky 240 volt power thing up behind Katie's little greenery sort of thing up there. So there's power in there as well, which is good. Yeah, for fake plants.
We can't take them over borders, so fake plants it is.
Fake plants it is. So yeah, that was, the bathroom is good. The toilet's just a standard Dometic. I think they're all relatively the same. However, I do notice that we've got a new cassette, and I think I see some people cruising around with old cassettes and stuff like that. So I think maybe they've revised some things in the design, because apparently the original Dometic Dunny was not the greatest, but apparently the lady, when we bought the second cassette, I don't know, she just said, oh no, that's the cassette. Yeah, they fixed a lot of things. Hearsay, anecdotal, scratch that from the record, never mind. But that's what I'd heard on the grapevine. So yeah, the Dometic toilet's good. We use that Thetford. Is it Thetford? The blue cam?
I think so. Yeah, it's a blue one.
Blue one. All the other ones are terrible.
Don't ever get green.
Nappy sand.
Don't ever get green.
I don't know who says nappy sand is good. It's disgusting. Just use the blue cams.
It doesn't work.
I wish it worked really well, but every time we put that in, I'm just like, go to the toilet, like, it's horrible. Yeah. So blue cam, we reckon, is the best. The green stuff, we tried everything natural. It's just skank. Yeah. Let's honestly, what do you want to be in your bloody Caravan smelling bad toilet? And then Kate put a thing in there.
Yeah, I got one of those oil reeds, the oils with the reeds coming out.
Sick.
And I wish we'd done that in the beginning.
That was really good.
You just sort of put that down by the for the video, we've put it up near the sink, but usually that's down beside the toilet.
Next to the toilet,
with the toilet papers and stuff.
So good. Kids' bunks are great. Both got their own little fans. Each bunk has 240 volt power. Each bunk has USBs and a 12 volt. We never use the 12 volt, ever. But I suppose we've got 240, and all of our chargers, they rarely use the USBs. Normally they're plugging into the 240 with normal chargers or whatever. They are kind of going through our chargers though, so we might have to stop that.
I just break them.
And
one thing I did buy for their beds, when we first picked up the van, it came with a mattress. I think it's the same sort of mattress material, a cushion as the lounge, which was stiff, not comfortable at all, and my kids are a bit precious, so
I was off this just quietly. I was like, what are you doing throwing out two perfectly good mattresses?
We didn't throw them out. We've kept them. We'll put them back on the bunk beds if people want the new ones. But what I did is I went to Clark Rubber and I bought a double-sized foam mattress. I think it's medium density or whatever. I got them to cut it in half for me, and then I got my mum to sew up the seams, and they have just been so much better because they're not as thick and as hard as the other ones. When I'm making the bed, I can actually lift it up and fold it over, get the fitted sheet under, tuck it under, push it back down. Making the kids' beds, everyone says it is probably the worst job that you'll have.
She still hates Caravan. It. Let's be clear. It's made it better.
Work out at the gym for 2 hours. You're finished and you're just done. That's you for the day.
Oh, Jesus.
When you wash the sheets, it's the whole thing. So poor kids don't have their bunks cleaned as much as we do.
But the mattresses are good. The mattresses are good.
Yeah.
So
I definitely recommend going to Clark Rubber, getting the mattress, getting them to cut it in half, and so much better. And they're not as high as well, so the kids don't it's sort of like a little buffer there with the boundary of the bed, so the kids won't fall out. And
so but we did have a couple, not a scare, but Dale was just a bit sketchy maybe in the bunk, flops around, so we put just a pool noodle up against the side of the thing and tucked that under the sheet. That worked well. So the kids, they love their bunks. They absolutely love them. And most of the time, in the video, everything's gone, but there is some stuff, there's a bag of Lego down the end of Ada's bed, and because they're little, we can sort of fit stuff there. So that's kind of a bit of extra storage. They've got the little box of stuff that they have and all the rest of it.
Down the end. They put their big jumpers, when they're not wearing them, it all sort of just goes down there.
They love it. There's one of those little concertina folding door things in between the bunks and stuff like that. Some people write them off. I'm like, whatever. I'm so glad that it's there. And it's not the strongest thing in the world. Probably you've got to be careful with it. And I was stressed about it, kids mucking around with it too much. But it's definitely pretty good. You need the door. Yeah, you need some privacy. Every once in a while, you got to have something there. Settle down, mate. Settle down, Turbo. So that side of things is awesome, actually. It's a good little space for them, and we've got obviously their cupboards and stuff. And we did this weird thing with with a couple of containers that we just zip tied together using cable ties, so that you can kind of have a quasi drawer instead of having to access all the crap at the back. You just sort of pull the containers out and it just slides out like a drawer, which was great success. So that's fantastic. I would recommend doing that. There are very few things that we would change. A couple of them would be more solar if we could. I'd love to have more solar. Always can never have too much solar. That little stool thing,
The footstool?
Yeah.
Yeah, so like at the end of the L-shaped couch, there's like a thing that you can put up and it just gives you more leg space. But we don't really sit at the couch and watch TV. So I think a little like hatch drawer into the, not drawer, but like a hatch door in under the lounge storage area would be great, just so you can easily get to it.
That'd be useful.
That would be good.
Yeah.
Yeah, so a mirror, a few more overhead cupboards.
The outdoor tables along the side of the van on the outside, they're so sick. I wish I had another one of those or a bigger one of those, because it's good.
Yep.
Good little place that's out of the weather, you know, basically, just to, if you need to cook or something like that.
We love
pretty happy with it. Pretty happy with it. It tows well behind the car. Like a lot of people say that you know, having a dual cab ute and a van that's up to 3.5 tonne is just, you know, suicide. And I would probably say that if that ute was just a ute with an empty tray, then perhaps. But with the GVM upgrade and GSIM upgrade and everything that we did with Lovells, the vehicle's a bit heavier, sits well on the road. You know, we got the canopy on the back and whatnot, and it tows very capably. And the van feels good behind the car. Like, it doesn't sway or do anything weird or get a wobble up. We do have ESC on there, which I don't even think has ever activated. Well, not that I've felt it. And yeah, it's been really good. It's been really good. I had another guy who's towed a lot of vans, even take it for a drive, and just to make sure that it wasn't, you know, it was feeling right. God, the smoke's getting me. That it was feeling right and it was sitting well behind the car. And even he said, like, tows well, feels good, and happy days. So it's not just me that thinks so. That's always a bonus. And that's about it, really. Yeah. Like, we're pretty stoked with our decision, and there's very few things that we would actually change.
And it's good looking, like, you know, we love the look of it, like the logos and the stripes and everything down the side.
The big wheels are nice. Big wheels are nice. Always like big wheels. Yeah. Thanks, Chris. I think he put those on there for us.
We actually bought a Marvel as well, because we met the guys at Sunseeker Marvel, and they're just really down to earth guys, and they live and breathe four-wheel driving and caravan.
They froth on it. They absolutely froth on it.
And 4x4s. So
kindred spirits. They like the things we like.
Yeah.
Caravanning, going off-road, getting loose. They love it. We love it. So it's good fun.
They're good guys.
Yeah. Good guys to talk to, and I think they understand what it is that we wanted. They understood what it was that we wanted, and, you know, how to build a van that can have a good time. We haven't really tested the off-road abilities, but I remember dragging Chris over the coals when we were buying it, going, oh, you know, how good are these things? And then I went on a shoot with them, and I saw it. He was like, I told you, you'll never do the stuff that I do with these vans. And I've seen what he does now, and I agree. I would never do that, to be honest, but it's good to know that it can do it. Yeah. So anyway, that's about it, really.
Buying a caravan, check these guys out, go and get out there.
Do it.
This is the best.
I know. I'm not crying like tears of joy. I'm trying because the smoke is in my face. Anyway, good hit.
I hope you
Marvel.
Enjoyed the video, and if you've got any questions, just flick us a message.
Hit us up.
Yeah, happy to help.
It's beautiful. God, there's smoke. See ya.